Will Uber and Lyft drivers who got $200,000 EIDL loans be driving themselves to jail? This is an LALATE update for today. Hope you are good and safe. As always, like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below, and we may feature them in tomorrow's recording. And please hit the bell on the front of this channel so you get an alert whenever Barcelona and Manchester United don't win in their season opener or mid-season openers after the pandemic. What a hot mess it's been for soccer today. And shortly we'll be getting to questions you delivered to our Go Low loan video yesterday. It was about 64 comments, and actually about 94 comments, and we'll also be answering your 64 comments about EIDL loan. But in the Bombshell exclusive, we're going to be going over the EIDL loan calculation and why some businesses theoretically can't even get loans of $150,000, and if they did, oh boy, you better be careful. There's going to be a lot of eyes rolling, because if you get out a pen and paper, because we're going to be doing some math at the 10-minute mark, and you need to know how these EIDL loan calculations are done, because you might be surprised what I'm about to tell you. So let's get to some of your questions and comments shortly for those two videos. Joseph Dreamhouse, please all of you don't give up on calling SBA. I applied for both businesses. Grant was given on one. I called SBA twice a week. Please don't give up calling SBA. Yes, that was how this channel was birthed. I said, hey, call SBA, keep on calling. Political Lil, I got a bombshell. I'm a senior citizen, 81 years of age. Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and using the catchphrase as well. Child care provider applied for the EIDL grant yesterday, got a loan portal offer today. I like it. Do you think that the loan offer felt that it was of essence, so to speak? So if you're new to this channel, the EIDL loan videos and grant videos are encompassing two types of applicants. My OGs, who are the applicants who applied in March or April, and my newbies, who are the ones that applied in May and June. Those newbies are getting grants and loans within 24 hours, and they are getting them funded as well. More about that on the grant video coming up tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Queen Psychic Bees. Sorry the marriage didn't work. Yeah, that was a little shady by me. I'm sorry. Ovilanciacio. Hello, LLA. Watched you since the first company applied for the EIDL loan. We are proof $150,000. We decided to apply for our two other companies so we cannot get back both a valid EIDs. Here's the bombshell for you. We applied for both companies. One accepted a $35,000 and $17,000. No credit. Oh, so this is a great comment. You all need to listen to it. Bombshell coming right now. I did have to send a Schedule C to a loan offer for one of the companies. I talked to her and was asked if I would do another credit check, and said, no, we're not going to do another credit pull. If the credit score was high enough from the previous application, we're at 700. Both were approved, and I signed today, 6/18. This is crazy fast. Love your show. Only real one out there. Thank you for nice comments. So a lot of shocking, great tidbits in there. First, he said that if your credit score was high enough, they didn't want to repull it again. He had a 700. I assume it's a he. Then second one is, as we detailed first earlier this week, they are asking for Schedule Cs. So this is clearly an independent contractor. And they wanted that Schedule C to confirm the identity. But boy, he got his loan right away. Great news. Lois, I don't watch TV. I just watch LLA. Well, I love that. Thank you. James, I'll keep you posted, especially when a portal goes live. Thank you. Chris, disaster loans, no. 4 months after the disaster, who's going to have any good credit? Are credit supposed to be a factor for a disaster loan? What's wrong with this picture? The Albert, toggle switch has been there for day one. Yes, that was among the things that people have been correcting me about. I saw a comment about a toggle switch. I thought, oh, it's a new toggle switch. And then like, no, that toggle switch has been there for a while. We just haven't talked about it. It's like y'all were invited to the toggle switch, Marty, and didn't tell me about it for weeks. And I'm like, okay, this is a new toggle switch. Okay, so scratch everything I said about the toggle switch. Kevin Lee, great news. Got my grant finally from my application back in May. Still wait. So he's a newbie. Still waiting on my portal invite, but hopefully any day. Good. Nate and 2, credit reporting agencies are independent of each other. Disputing the entry from one doesn't affect the other. Oh, that's a great point of information. So we've been detailing all this week the importance of removing adverse entries on your credit score from Experian, which is what EIDL SBA uses. They use Experian Vantage Score 3.0. They don't use FICO. They don't use anyone else. But this individual says, hey, if you want to just start cleaning things up in general, each agency is done separately. Good point. Lisette, the slider's been in place for a while. Okay, there goes the slider shade. Mary B, how do you find out if the Experian did a hard credit pull? You go on to Experian and look at it. LA, I had Googled 3 different phone numbers. They're all, well, don't blame me, blame Google. Robert Henson, thank you for supporting this channel, Robert. Applied 330 credit pull 5.2, loan portal 6.2, and still waiting. I'm very happy for you. How much was the loan offer, Robert? And did you get the grant yet? R. Jones, I've been calling for the grant since my loan was approved. Just like you said, I got a guy called 3 times, no grant. Without the encouragement, I would not have given up. I'm in the April 8th vortex. So he called SBA today, and Tier 2 said they never sent it. They didn't know why, and now she sent it to a loan officer. Great. So that's a great point. So R. Jones kept on persevering because I'm telling him to, and he finally got someone who was competent on the other line, not Blade 66, and that loan officer, and they said, hey, there's something wrong here. I'm having the loan officer fix it right away. Good. Lois, you're hilarious. Well, thank you. Political Lil, I applied 4.5, so he's an OG of the DC. That's my new expression. An OG of the DC. He's an OG of the DC. Got my loan 616. No grant until twice it's coming. I'm looking to get my money. Perfect body beauty. The most non-vain, the most humble screen name viewer of this channel. Perfect body beauty. There are people who filled agricultural who didn't own businesses at all, who got the full $10,000 grant in 3 days. No additional information was needed. I guess the scammers have better outcome than we did as true business owners. Yeah, I'm not going to say it, but you certainly know what happened. And if you applied in the agricultural period when you were not agricultural because of someone else's advice, you know what went on. So I'm not going to shade that any more than it needs to be shaded. Laquila, hey, if I don't have the information for my business, what can I do to get it? Proof of documents, incorporation. 907 basket maker. Oh, I guess you make baskets. Applied for 6. Oh, he's an OG of the DC. Approved 6.5. Can't sign SBA document. What's going on? I don't know. I call SBA. Mia Toten got the approval. It's in my bank. Took 3 days. Great. So a newbie got the money in 3 days. Michael Ramos. I just wanted to let you know I did some checking about my credit with Credit Karma. There's nobody that checked my credit score. Credit Karma is not the same correct body. You only should be using Experian. Negative schedule only affects PPP. Nay, 2. Correct. I said that Schedule C for purposes of EIDL is to confirm the business existence and confirm rev and cost of goods sold, that type of stuff. Interceptor, great information. Best EIDL reports on YouTube. Of course. No one else is more detailed than us on EIDL. We really go into the nuances. Thank you for the nice comment. You should have 1 million followers by now. We should. I mean, a lot of you are watching us. Thank you for the viewership. But please like and subscribe. And subscribe. Subscribe. That S. Subscribe. Please subscribe. We want to get to 10,000 by Sunday if we can. We're at 8,500. So we're doing about 500 new per day. So let's get it to 10. Let's do it. Madhouse Fifi. Stay salty. I don't know. I got some negatives 2 days ago, said I was too salty. So then yesterday toned it down, and then they're like, you're stoned. I'm like, okay, either I'm salty or I'm stoned. I'm like, I can't please anyone here. Pushing you to the top. Thank you, Joni. Lyft, Uber, Ninja, Workaholic. They denied my loan by design, blocked my credit. 2 weeks later, I got the email for the grant, $1,000 in my account. I'm confused. That's the grant. That's $1,000. Corn-fed. Alert, alert. And I apologize for corn-fed. For like 5 years, or no, it feels like 5 years. For weeks, I was calling corn-fed a she, and it's a he. And there's also... There's also Joseph, who's a viewer of this channel, and that's a she and not a he. So I've been messing up everyone's gender. I apologize. The loan officer called me and said anything above $25,000 collateralizing your assets so you can get $25,000 without selling your soul. I already told you that years ago. Also, they charge $100 for processing fee. We knew that as well. Support VA. Hey, question. My husband applied for 10, so he's an OD of the DC. Got the advanced grant portal for 6. Sent it back his info. Can you advise when he will get his advanced grant? He was denied the loan. So when his loan is denied, he needs to do a reconsideration letter to the address, the email address in the denial letter saying, I want to have a reconsideration of the denial of my loan. And in there also say, I want my grant money, and say it in a nice, respectful way. They will then send you a portal invite to something that's called reconsideration advance payment. It's really a crazy set of words, but you'll see the word advance. It doesn't say grant. It doesn't say anything. You don't know what it is. That's for the grant. Joseph Dreamhouse, who is a she, not a he. I got my nonprofit funded last week, brought down it to $24,000, and got my business, my for-profit funded $14,500. Just an FYI, all the other owners from my profit company got their credit pull as well. So everyone got credit pulls in one company. Credit pulls for everyone. Wow. Okay, so let's get to the bombshells and pull out a paper and pen, and we're going to do some math. And this is the old math. This is not the new math. And if you don't like math, it might be a little complicated, but you need to know this. So the way the loan amount is calculated is gross revenue minus cost of goods sold, or if you're not a goods merchant business, minus cost of services rendered, divided by 2. So let's go over that again. Gross revenue from 2019 minus cost of services rendered divided by 2. Here's the rub. We could actually take a loan amount and reverse calculate it to figure out how much that person claimed to SBA. And I'm going to tell you right now. So let's say you got a loan offer of $150,000. Well, how do we reverse it? We double it, $300,000. So $300,000 is the net of gross revenue minus services rendered. It means that you had what? $350,000, $400,000 in gross revenue minus $100,000 in cost of services, or $50,000 in cost of services. You had to have had a certain amount of cost of services. There's no such service business that's zero. The net result is the following. Yesterday we made some comments, and they may have been taken incorrectly by some viewers, and I apologize if they're taken incorrectly. But here's the rub. I don't know how much the top earning Uber and Lyft driver in the entire nation gets paid. But the average Uber and Lyft driver, it is my understanding, does not make in gross revenue $300,000 a year. Here's the interesting bit. How do you get to a $200,000 loan or a $150,000 loan for an Uber and Lyft driver? Well, let's take $150,000. We double. It's $300,000. $300,000 is supposed to be the net of gross revenue minus cost of services rendered. So that means, let's say your cost of services were at least $20,000 or $30,000. That means you made $330,000, $340,000 in gross revenue last year. There seems to be an issue here, and I'm going to address the issue right now. When you're putting numbers into SBA's streamlined application, you're representing them to be true and correct. Now, it's not difficult to know what your gross revenues are for 2019 and report them accurately, but it's clearly an error if you say your cost of services are $0 or $1 or $2. I don't care what business you are, and this is not a comment about Uber and Lyft drivers specifically, but let's use Uber and Lyft drivers. Services rendered, cost of services rendered, gas, insurance, and any repairs. And so you clearly have more than a few $1,000s in cost of services rendered if you're making $300,000 in gross revenue per year as an Uber or Lyft driver. The net result of my comments is the following. When you're going to do a loan amount, you have to remember the following. As a service business, there is no service business that has no cost of services. It absolutely does not exist. There's always insurance, there's always telephone, or usually telephone. There is always some utilities, whether it's car insurance or business insurance. There is always, some operational elements, whether it's, it's gas or it's internet connections. So there is no business with an absolute nominal cost of services that makes $300,000 of gross revenue per year. It doesn't exist. It absolutely doesn't exist. So if you know an Uber or Lyft driver who's walking around and flaunting they got a $200,000 loan, you can reverse calculate it and realize that unless they were making $500,000 of gross revenue last year, it can't happen. It literally mathematically can't happen. So how about the viewers of this channel who are not Uber and Lyft drivers, who did get $200,000 loans? Well, let's do the math. We know how much their gross revenue minus cost of goods sold is, because let's take a $200,000 loan. You double it, that's $400,000. So the net of cost of gross revenue minus cost of goods sold or services sold is $400,000. Well, then that means they had, $440,000 and it cost them $40,000 a year work to operate it, or they had $500,000, cost them $100,000 to operate it. It means they did a lot of revenue. Absolutely. And so that's what I want you to know when you are either an OG of the DC or a newbie and are applying for a loan, applying for the EIDL, and you want those big loan amounts. Very few viewers want the big loan amounts. Most don't. But if you want those big loan amounts, you have to have had an enormous amount of gross revenue in your 2019 Schedule C or your 1099, your corporate tax return to substantiate that type of loan amount. As to repeat, the loan calculation is gross revenue minus cost of goods sold, and if your service business, it's cost of services rendered divided by 2. And so that can be everything from like printing, advertising, all those things are included in there. And if you did not include them to make it look like a really, I just make a lot of revenue and it doesn't cost me anything to make a revenue, well, that's why perhaps the loan offer was so high. So Elisa, let's get to some of the comments. Elisa, Uber and Lyft drivers work very hard. She says, I'm sorry, but Uber drivers, I sweat my butt off and break my back over work my business it physically takes, and I can't get SBA to give me an answer. After watching this video, I give up. So she is upset, and I'm not going to take any sides. But she's upset that that she's hearing that Uber and Lyft drivers have applied this week, and allegedly some of them are flaunting $150,000 to $200,000 loans. I just want to see how they claim gross revenues and what they claim as cost of services rendered, because it doesn't add up. Miguel the Bronx. So Miguel the Bronx, who I absolutely adore, he has a great point. He says, why are the people complaining about Uber Lyft drivers? I'm a Lyft driver. We've worked very hard. Absolutely. No one is doing anything of the sort. What they're talking about is and it's irrelevant whether they're Uber or Lyft driver, they're having an issue with these enormous loan amounts for businesses that no one understands how they are claiming that type of revenue. $400,000 of revenue per year. Mervyn Secure. So he has a great point, Mervyn Secure, as well. Don't sleep on Uber drivers in large metropolitan areas. They make a lot of money and they drive hundreds of more hours a week. I've known guys that make 6 figures. Then you minus that operating expenses. I think $60,000 annual profit is low for full-time drivers. Well said. But that's not a $300,000 loan. That's not a $200,000 loan. That's a $60,000 loan. He's making a great point. So let's say you have, as he said, 6 figures. Let's say it's $100,000 in a gross rev. Cost you $20,000 to operate. That's 100 minus 20 is $80,000 divided by 2, $40,000. So there you get $40,000 loan offer. Where is the $200,000 loan offer? It's not feasible. Now, you can certainly see 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, but $200,000 loan offers for an Uber and Lyft driver, or any type of business, you have to have an enormous amount of revenue you're claiming and a very, very little amount of services rendered, which in the case of Uber and Lyft drivers, if you are driving that many hours to get $400,000 of driving hours, then you have an enormous amount of gas that you absolutely have to include in the calculation. Let's understand, if you are not including items in your cost of services rendered to make it sound very diminutive and very small, that might be why your loan amount is so high. but that's a false reporting you're doing. Bernardo, LA, please. I'm one of those drivers. I make I made $48,000 a year in San Diego. Believe me, it was not fun. Okay, so let's do that calculation. $48,000 a year. Let's say maybe it costs $4,000 to operate the business. So 48,000 minus 4, it gives you $44,000 divided by 2, $22,000 loan. There you go, $22,000 loan. We still don't see the ability to have a $200,000 loan for an individual driver. This is also really helpful. Armando Ramos, I actually talked to my loan officer, and that's how I got a higher loan amount originally, and this is really on point. Originally, I received an email requesting to go to the portal and update my bank info, and the loan officer's name and direct number was at the bottom, and simply called on a Sunday evening, and he told me I entered the wrong cost of goods. So here Armando Ramos put the wrong cost of goods in, that I don't sell anything, and he replied, oh, that makes sense. I would have called you to verify before issuing loan documents. So here, be careful, because the form doesn't say cost of services rendered. It says cost of goods sold. And I don't know if Eduardo put 0 or put a huge number, but clearly he made a mistake and the loan officer saw a problem. So if you are an Uber or Lyft driver and you're putting in a 0 in cost of goods sold, which is supposed to be cost of services rendered, no, that's completely incorrect. Or anyone else that's watching this channel, it can't be 0 if you're claiming $304,000 a year in gross revenue. I mean, this is like, what business just gives you 0? I mean, even in the case of real estate, and there's some viewers of this channel who are real estate has money. It has advertising or posting a sign or a website, internet connection or telephone or your cell phone bills. I mean, there's never 0. So there we go. Kevin Lee, what do you think about King Elvis? Sean Lass is hey, groovy. Net Wonka, you are hilarious, Mr. LA. David Jefferson, I didn't get the fear in being collateralized. This is a new concept. If you fear in default on the loan and the government taking your asset, my guess is your business will probably be failing. No, we did a video earlier today on second stimulus. Please watch that video. It talks about the need to maybe keep these loans sitting in the bank if you're worried about the first wave of the pandemic getting very bad very quickly, which apparently is now the situation. You may want the money. Cornfed, stay away from the coffee pot. I was not high, I was not drunk, and I was not over caffeinated in yesterday's loan officer video. Chris Horley, you are so drunky tonight. I was not drunk. I was drunk later in the night, but not when I was taping. Oh my goodness. Tom Marvin. There was a slider there before. Okay, the slider. Samuel Rovalino. Okay, we are just taking the money. Toggle was there a month ago. Okay, everyone with the toggle shade. I got it. Toggle me this, toggle me that. Lazetta. Has anyone tried increasing their loan after signing their loan documents? That was the purpose of the loan video yesterday. Oh my God. If you've not watched our loan video from yesterday, Lizette, we did it. I'll drop in the links above. Beauty Babe, also one of those very, not very narcissistic screen names. I'm just kidding. To all the comments about saying the toggle's been there a while, why didn't y'all say anything? Exactly. Hello. Now I love Beauty Babe. We're all here to help each other. I heard LALATE say right and ask for changes you guys knew, and there was a toggle a month ago. Exactly. Well said, Beauty Babe. I love you. And you are not narcissistic in my book with that name. No, I mean, that's exactly the point. I'm trying to help everyone. And so if you know something that's happening, don't keep the elephant secret from me, because it's like, how can I report it to everyone else? It's like, oh yeah, there was a toggle. There's been a toggle there for 3 months, but we just didn't tell you. Like we just didn't want you to tell anyone else. I'm like, what else is there out there that I don't know? Lee Braun, I just want to know, is it me? Is this what SBA sounds clear? However, as soon as you ask for tier 2, they get very staticky. So he's saying that when you get Blaine 666 on the phone, suddenly the reception gets really bad. You know why you're entering. You're heading to hell. That's when the reception gets really bad. Kevin McCoy, my mind is starting to go on me. Am I in the Twilight Zone? I had a dream. Lee Anderson, we added the funds for grant. Do you think they'll increase the grant from 1,000 to 10,000? No. And there was some viewer like 10 minutes ago. We're running late in this video, but there was some viewer 10 minutes ago who said he or she emailed Javita 42 times asking for the remainder of the $10,000 grant. I mean, I'm going to do this again and again. I'm going to mention this. And Javita apparently said, stop contacting me. Good for her. I'm like, who contacts them 44 times asking for something you know you're not going to get? Robert Henson, my favorite, the LALATE show. James Hamilton. Here we go again. James Hamilton. I want to know something of. I want to have some of what you're smoking, buddy. Oh my God, I was not smoking. I don't even smoke. I guess just look at a guy who's good news after being cancer free. Either way, good for you. I was not. No, I don't smoke. Thank you. If SBA came out with some smokes, what would they be called? I drop them in the comments below. Leanne, I think I love you. You're a humor. I still want to stay out of the April vortex. Speaking more to you. Leanne, what do you think if SBA was selling some vapes? What would they be called? I guess that's the next video. Samantha, oh, Elvis Carranza, bring on those negotiation tips. I got my loan fund on Monday, but no grant. I applied 329 to toggle too. Yes, it should be coming soon. If you haven't gotten it, ask the SBA, where's your grant money? You're the cool breeze. Well, thank you. Peggy Segunda, oh my God, this is greatness. Collateralized, not my platform shoes. Don't collateralize my platform shoes. I mean, yeah, don't collateralize someone's platform shoes. Kevin Walker, thank you, Elliot. Your information advice has been absolutely key to my success with SBA. Well done. As reported, I applied June 15th, so he's a newbie. Wednesday, the 17th, got an invite, reduced the loan amount with a magic slider. He calls it a slider, not a toggle, to $25,000. June 19th, woke up, $3,000 grant money in my account. So he applied Monday, got the grant on Friday. So it's all over the place. Some people apply Monday, got it on Tuesday. He got it on Friday. Hopefully the loan docs drop next. Kevin, tell me, keep me up to date. Do you know anything about PUA or the other grants or lending programs out there? Yes, they're in our second stimulus check videos now. So we've moved all our other loan instruments into the second stimulus check videos and our PUA updates. We don't always put PUA in the title, but if you look at the thumbnail or the description, if it's talking about $700 a week, that's PUA. And if it's talking about other, $1 million items, those are the other grants. Monique, oh my God, you always surprise me. I can't with you. Dean, my daughter applied 2 nights ago. Got offer. Great job. That's wonderful. Unbelievable. Char's house tip. How about you getting the signatures for his class action lawsuit? I got enough to do. Jeff Hansen, Groovy LA. Samuel, so we get denied and get to send an email, and this in the return, the email box is full. I saw this. 2 viewers said that they did a reconsideration and the reconsideration email box was full. Just try it again later. Rocky Aquino. Hey, LA, Rocky here in Hawaii. I did my application March 29th, so he's an OG of the DC. Until now, no grant. I got approved May 20th for the loan. Oh, congrats. But I can't sign the docs. I just have a question. Can I reapply this time? Because I heard you can get the grant, the loan offer in 24 hours. No, you cannot, but you can apply with your other business. We've done that in every grant video this week, but maybe we'll do it again later today. Plus, you should be getting your grant money as well. Stay with it. And thank you for tuning in, Rocky Aquino. Steve Simonro, stop smoking that stuff. I was not smoking. Josh Hamilton again. Crocodile shirt is another level. It was. And it looks great in person, by the way. It's polyester. Kay Libby. Hey, Elliot, I'm a new viewer. I'm tired of hearing about Weeble Wobble stocks from others. I am too. I mean, it's like enough already. And I watched some video. I should admit it, but I did watch someone's video today because I wanted to see what's up with it. And it was about the second stimulus check, and all I heard about was a renter moving out of an apartment. I'm like, what does that have to do with the second stimulus check? I don't want to hear about you and your renter that pays you the $600 a month or whatever it is. I'm like, I don't care about you and your renter. How is that on point? Horrible. I mean, I understand you're trying to, get into the game, but that's like, you're toggling on your husband's viewership by telling me a story about your renters. I don't want to hear about your renters. Business activity means the nature of the business conducted by the business. Then I received another email with another denial for this reason. We are unable to offer you a disaster loan because of multi-level sales distribution. Pyramid concerns are not eligible for EIDL assistance. I'm sitting here like, what the hell? Back in may include all my information for business entities, corporate structures, business license. Completely baffled. I'm going to TJ Maxx to buy a scarf to cry in. Kirk was accused of a pyramid scheme? Oh my God, that's a new one. I'm sorry that you were accused of this. I would do I would do a reconsideration of the reconsideration. I've never heard anything. That, of course, there's a bombshell, the 29-minute mark. A viewer did a reconsideration, was denied, again, this time based upon a pyramid scheme, of which he doesn't have. Really crazy. If you have comments to today's video, which I'm sure you do, drop them in the comments below. Tell me if you think Real Madrid's going to win this week, and how about Manchester City? As always, coming up later today are more videos, another second stimulus check, the video about PUA. Please watch that. Earlier was a second stimulus check about the lending programs, the new grant programs out there, and later tonight is a grant video. As always, stay with LA for more.